Looks like whoever hung it there had certain artistic ambitions. Otherwise, he'd have put a piece of Scotch tape on each corner, as logic would dictate.
I'm sorry, Dad. I mean, my Colonel. Oh, by the way, the satellite has located that shipment of cigars you were being sent from Cuba, my Colonel.
It's about time, Flower Pot. Coordinates?
I didn't memorize them, my Colonel, but I'll ask for them again right away.
God damn it, Flower Pot. Aren't you using that planner I gave you for Christmas? Do it now, and send a couple of men to the area. I want those cigars brought to me, as of yesterday. Out of my sight, Flower Pot.
You can come in, Mr. whatever you're called.
Thanks.
Well then?
Good morning. My name is...
Is that what you came to tell me, civilian? Or did you have something interesting to say?
Well, I'd like to ask you about...
Negative. I'm the one asking questions here.
Yeah, but I was just wondering whether...
What do you think this is? A Q&A in the Pentagon press room? I'm warning you. Nobody interrogates me.
It's really just a quick...
Look here, civvy boy. Are you dumb or am I explaining this all wrong? If you ask me one more question, you're gonna spend the next 15 days in my refrigerator. Got that?
In the refrigerator? Well, if you give me a baseball to toss around...
Okay then. Now, answer this. What in Sam Hill are you doing on my island?
Actually, I didn't even want to come here. It was this girlfriend of mine.
Well, well. It turns out the smart Alex civilian is just a boy in love. Son, if you were a soldier, no woman would be playing around with you. Why don't you enlist?
I can't picture myself in a uniform. Green doesn't go with my skin tone, and helmets give me a headache.
So this is what goddamn civil society has made us sink to? You keep in mind, boy, that I only tolerate 3 kinds of civilians. Women, kids, and the crippled. The rest of y'all should be under military command, killing for your homeland and dying in combat. But those dang politicians and scientists back in D.C. are all fooled with their welfare state, human rights, and atomic weaponry systems. They're trying to do away with the real army and values that make men men.
It sounds truly exciting, but I don't want to have to kill anyone.
So you're that kind of folks. You say that because you never tried. But once you acquire a taste for it, you'd kill to try again.
Enlist? Me? Do I look like a fool?
What kind of sissy are you, boy? When the winds of change blow through, and they will, you're gonna have to fight. Then I'd like to see what you use your pretty face for. I told you, I won't tolerate the 3rd degree. So answer me or suffer the consequences.
I don't know. I've never held a weapon.
Hey, where'd you go to grammar school, boy? Didn't you get an education?
Man, that's not what I meant. I must have wigged out.
Oh, yeah? What do you mean, then?
I had no idea this island belonged to you. It must have cost you a small fortune.
I say it's mine because I'm in charge here. Didn't anyone tell you martial law has been imposed on Mala Island?
Why are we under martial law?
Because that way I'm not obliged to answer questions from imbecile civilians like yourself. And even less so when they're about unauthorized topics.
No way. I didn't know we were at war.
Well, we aren't, unfortunately. You know how much I miss the old days back in Nam.
You must be the only person alive who misses a lost war.
I should have kicked the bucket in that war, you know. They riddled me with bullets, so I knelt down and raised my arms for a more photogenic demise. And then some bird brain came along, threw me on his back, and saved me. So here I am, on a 2-bit island with no way to die heroically.
There have been others since Vietnam. You must have been in some later conflict.
All of them. Even a few you ain't never heard of. Like that time the Reds put fluoride in the water supply to poison our minds. But none was as fun as Nam.
Quit complaining. You're on a paradise island now.
Don't overestimate the fun here. There ain't no enemy battalions at the beach, shrapnel with breakfast, or flocks of vultures hovering over the trenches. Now that would be paradise.
I see you're a man of action.
Like any man with a sense of self-worth, civilian, like the men of yesteryear, those soldiers who killed at gunpoint. They didn't depend on them bureaucrats and their nuclear arms. But the old days are making a comeback. You'll see, soon.
Getting back to what I was saying, I can tell you're dying to explain why martial law has been declared.
The reason has to do with a big, fat military secret. I wouldn't divulge it to a civilian, even if I was authorized. And definitely not to the likes of you.
I couldn't care less about the martial law, but I'll tell you why I'm on Mala Island.
I knew I could get you to sing in the end. Come on, fess up.
A girlfriend of mine fell into the lake, and I think you guys rescued her.
Negative, civilian. My men monitor every centimeter of Mala Island, and they ain't seen none of that. You sure that happened on this patch of land?
Yeah, if you haven't seen her, it's because you're all half blind. Sorry.
Are you mocking me, civvy boy? Just remember, if I get a hold of your girl, I can give her a real hard time.
In fact, I think she's being held here against her will.
You don't say. There may be another possibility. She might be hiding from you.
Well, she didn't exactly fall. I threw her out in mid-flight.
Something was telling me you're not all bad, boy, and I was right. Turns out you're my kind of man. So, did you enjoy that experience?
It's not what you think. I pushed her out to save her.
No reason to apologize. You done nothing wrong.
I bet you would have killed her. You look like a despicable slayer of helpless women.
Come on, boy. There's no reason to start kissing up to me at this point. And I don't know what you mean by helpless. You look the other way and they start weaving a web, like a tarantula. Ha! That was pretty funny. Like red tarantulas.
I felt awful as I watched my girlfriend fall through the sky.
Don't worry about that. You'll get over it. The first time always hurts. Then you get used to it. You even start to yearn for it. I'd do it all day long if I could.
Did I say I pushed her? I keep saying the silliest things lately.
You've got me more turned round than a dog chasing his tail. Let's see. Now, what did you mean?
I mean, that's not what I meant. It's that I'm not obliged to answer that question. I'll only respond in the presence of my attorney.
So that's your game, huh? Well, move your butt out of my tent, boy, and keep it still until the evacuation takes place.
If only you could offer me a nice plush mattress to park it on with my girl.
Don't you get smart with me, boy. In a few hours, you and all the other civilians left on Mala will be shipped out. The boat's on its way. It's a matter of hours. Flower pot?
Colonel, sir!
Escort the civilian to the door. And if he makes any funny moves, kill him. That guy rubs me the wrong way. I don't want him turning into a relentless pest. Tarantula.
I don't know why, but I get a sneaky feeling that the Colonel is hiding something. What's more, when I came out, I saw a girl being escorted by a soldier toward Kortsmeyer's tent. For a moment there, I thought it was Gina, and I almost bumped into her. She was blonde and wearing a very tight red leather outfit, but what in the world could that insane Colonel be up to? It's clearer and clearer to me that Gina's being held somewhere inside the camp, but they're watching every step I take, so it's impossible to get a good look around. I'll have to find some other way to get in, no matter how hard I have to try. But it won't do me any good to rescue Gina if we have no way out afterward. With all travel by sea and air cut off, those military types would find us in no time. It's obvious. I'll have to cook up a plan to sneak into the camp and find a way to escape from the island. However, with the little help I have, that's gonna be one tall order. My only support is a plastered primate, who I'm gradually becoming fond of, I must say. And now that he woke up, his little eyes look so sad. They remind me of a little basset hound puppy I once had in New York. I'll name the little lemur after him. Little Demon. believe it's some sort of motion detector. And judging from those flashing lights, I'd say it's connected to the rest of the poles. I guess they activate an alarm when something passes between two of the poles. Looks like it leads to a crossroad. I'll go see what I find. I can't take one more step. I feel like someone poured a pot of boiling soup into my shoes and I'm cooking noodles between my toes. But it was worth it. Finally, some contact with civilization. There's another soldier with a car. I hope this one doesn't give me any flack. Let's see what the area has to offer. Eureka! A bar! With a waitress and everything. Today's your lucky day. Let's go chat her up. Hi there.
Aloha! Welcome to Luana Beach. Where did you come from?
Well, if you mean my place of birth, I come from New York. I got to Mala Island just this morning and...
You don't fool me. I haven't seen any boats or planes arrive in the last 3 days.
The thing is, I landed on the other side of the island, in a biplane that looks worse than a World War II relic.
Did you fly in with Otto?
No way! You guys know each other?
Yeah, we're old pals, and I adore his cool plane. I met my ex-boyfriend Charlie in it. Where is old Otto, by the way?
I think he went to Kauai. Yeah, he left full speed ahead to deliver a shipment of Capote dogs.
Oh, I love those little puppies, and they have such a cute name. Mine is Lokelani, stranger, which means heavenly rose.
Nice to meet you, Lokelani. I'm Brian.
Oh, crap. You have the same name as my moron of an ex-boyfriend.
I thought his name was Charlie.
No, that was a different boyfriend. Brian was this loser I'd prefer to forget about. So I'll just have to pick a different name for you. Do you like Kaimi? It means he who searches in Hawaiian.
I like the way it sounds. And if you knew me better, you'd realize it suits me to a T.
Oh yeah, and that fluffy love ball of a cockatoo is Aolani, my best friend, and the only male I can trust.
Charmed, Aolani. Lokelani, I wanted to ask you for something.
Oh, sorry. I must be the worst waitress in the Pacific. What can I do for you, Kaimi?
No, I didn't mean that. I just wanted to chat with you.
I don't know whether to believe you. Whenever my ex said some girl had just chatted with him, I knew to expect the worst.
Brian did that?
Oh no, that was Mikhail, a 7-foot-tall Russian. So, surprise me. What should we chat about?
I haven't seen many people around here.
Yeah, the island's population has been reduced to just a few friends of mine. And this guy dressed like a monk who arrived last night. Plus me and the military guys, as you've observed.
Tell me about that guy who looks like a monk.
He must have gotten here last night after I closed up. He hasn't budged all morning and didn't even notice when I went to say hi. Maybe he's deaf, like my ex.
Mikhail?
No, Renee. He was a better man than most. He was deaf as a doorknob, but he could listen so much better than the average male.
Why didn't they evacuate you and your friends?
They let me stay a few days longer. Colonel's orders. I don't know why, though. And my two friends stayed because Knife took Kai for a ride in his motorboat, so the military guys didn't find them till they got back.
Talk to me about your friend Kai.
The poor thing lost his leg to a shark, but he's still the best surfer Mala Island has ever seen, and he comes from a long line of amazing witch doctors. His grandfather, the last kahuna in the family saga, even had his own TV show.
Tell me about Knife.
He goes for the heart-stopping excitement, but he's fickle. Every once in a while, he gets obsessed with a new hobby. Right now, it's surfing, and that's all he thinks about. Lately, the waves around here have been smaller than in a kiddie pool, so he spends the day island hopping in his speedboat in search of killer waves. Oh, and then there's Koala, his son, but you'd better just meet him for yourself.
Where can I find your friends?
They live together at Alawala Cove. If you want to meet them, just follow the highway toward the northeast, and you'll come across their hut. I recommend it as a day trip. It's a lovely spot. Some people think Tiki Temple ruins are prettier, but since they're in the militarized zone, visits are out of the question.
Do you get along with the military guys here on the island?
That first night, they all came here to get sloshed. But then I think the colonel forbid them to return. Now he comes alone.
When did they get here?
About 3 days ago. They evacuated everyone, declared a state of emergency, and set up camp at the Tiki Temple ruins. Rumor has it there was some deadly virus running rampant, but I think the soldiers are being paid off by real estate speculators. They'll end up developing the island into a huge golf course for bored old moneybags, like my ex.
Are you talking about Charlie?
No, I meant Renako, an African millionaire who had petroleum coming out of his diamond-studded ears.
Do you know the man in charge of the troops?
The colonel? Yeah, he looks a lot like my ex, but with half the looks and twice the wrinkles. And he doesn't have that hot criminal look, of course.
Your ex-boyfriend, Brian?
No, Milo, a kid from Central Europe or somewhere around there.
I didn't know you liked older men.
It's not that I have anything for them. The only difference is on the surface, really. Inside, all men are equally childish, no matter what their age. But don't worry, most of us women like children.
After talking with him, it sounds like you got him sailing the Love Boat.
Love boat? Well, he can batten down the hatches and lower his mast, because there's no way I'm riding his love vessel. Plus, I can't stand tobacco smoke, and last night he came here smoking this big fat stogie. It gave off a hideous stench.
I don't like talking about that guy.
Don't look at me. You're the one who brought him up.
Military men bore me. I'm changing the subject.
Well, my ex-boyfriend was a military thug, and he really made me laugh.
Mikhail?
No, Tiru, a hilarious sergeant from India.
I suppose you didn't hear any of those soldiers mention a girlfriend of mine who fell into the lake.
Well, a girl. And here I was thinking you didn't have a girlfriend.
No, she isn't my girlfriend.
You sure? Look straight into my eyes and tell me she's not your girlfriend. Into my eyes, Kaimi. A little bit higher. Higher. There.
She's my cousin.
You lie worse than my ex.
Charlie?
No, Lopati. A gorgeous Polynesian hunk.
She is not my girlfriend.
Well, that's just too bad for her, isn't it? You're a bit of a liar, but an adorable one.
You're wrong. My friend is really a soccer ball, necessary on any worthwhile desert island.
Men. The only time they don't think about balls is when they're playing with them.
Hey, look! It's a cockatoo impaled on a stake.
Talk about getting off topic.
Let's talk about something else.
All right, if that's the best you can come up with.
It doesn't seem like you have much work.
Well, before the military got here, my boss didn't give me a moment of tropical island peace. Wait on the bar, go down to the storeroom, clean up the photo stand, shoo those lemurs off the bucking bronco, put on a skimpier outfit.
Sounds like you have a great boss. Huh.
If only you knew. Once I thought it might be nice to set out some trays of fresh coconut, and he said, "I don't pay you to think." If I get so bold as to give a free drink to a customer, he threatens to fire me, because he's the biggest skinflint in the Pacific. And on top of that, when the soldiers came, he ran off like a sissy, but told me that if I closed up shop, he'd fire me.
What was it you said about a bunch of lemurs?
I know it sounds weird, but a few years ago, a Japanese boat full of giant lemurs sunk nearby. It was headed for New York. Anyway, the lemurs swam to shore and took over the beach. You can't imagine what lushes they were. If I turned my back for a second, they'd rip off all the booze. They were bombed day and night, destroying everything they got their little prehensile paws on, until we managed to run them into the jungle on the other side of the island.
Well, I suppose this bar isn't exactly the workplace of your dreams, is it?
Don't be so sure. I've had worse jobs. I even worked in Hollywood as a makeup artist. It sounds all glamorous at first, but when you have to turn 3,000 midgets into extraterrestrials, all the glitz and bling bling starts to fade.
So, how did you manage to find work in Hollywood?
You know, the same way everyone gets a break in the movie world.
Maybe you should save it for another time. There may be minors reading this.
What a dirty little mind you have. I got my break thanks to my mom, who was a makeup artist. She would take me to film shoots before I learned to walk.
Oh, doing movie makeup must be a hard job.
Not really. Maybe it used to be. But ever since they came out with Grease Paint Pro, you can make your grandma look like a star, as the slogan says.
What is that Grease Paint Pro thing?
It's the computer software we movie makeup artists use. You can scan a picture of the character you want to create, another of the person you're making over, and in a few seconds it gives you a range of makeup options, along with the list of the products you'll need, the features you should accentuate or cover up. To put it simply, it's a very expensive wonder program that only big production companies can afford.
But with Grease Paint Pro alone, it's not enough, is it? I bet it's useless without your talent.
They're all essential. The computer, the talent, the scanner, the printer, and of course, the makeup products. I don't mean to brag, but I have them all. The great thing about having a computer geek as a boyfriend is that he can set up a home machine for you that's better than the ones most professionals use.
I don't mean to butt into your business, but are you talking about Mikhail?
No, Koji-san, this guy from Tokyo.
What were we chatting about?
All you men are the same. You're so busy looking at our cleavage, you can't pay attention to what we're saying. So it makes no difference. We can talk about whatever you wish.
Did you work on any famous films?
I wouldn't know. I never go to the movies. I mainly worked in horror movies until I met this director. We started going out, and he hired me to do 3 movies all at the same time.
You don't say. I bet his name was Andy. Or maybe it was Larry.
You're a really bad guesser. Anyway, his name was Peter. He made films in Australia, or did something down under.
You don't look like a makeup artist. Or a waitress, for that matter.
I'm not sure if I want to know what you see me as.
I'm gonna take a stroll. See ya later on.
See you around.
Sure, why not? Look, Ilani, could I borrow your chalkboard?
Go ahead. Nobody's ordering any cocktails around here anymore.
It comes with chalk, too. It's full of sand, ash, cigarette butts, and that looks like a cigar holder. I bet I can find some use for that. If I remember right, that's the brand Kordsmeyer smokes. Hello, nice man. Hello? Yoo-hoo! Nothing. Either this guy's deaf or he's on a real trip. I hope he sees lots of planets on the way. Oh, look! He moves and everything! Did that mean yes? Hi, my name is Brian. Nice to meet you. I guess he can only nod to express the idea of yes. Man, how innovative. Do you know any other tricks? Wow, he can shake his head to say no, too. You didn't happen to see a girl fall out of the sky lately, did you? Maybe a monk isn't the person to ask about a woman, so I'll rephrase the question. Have you seen a man with no hair on his face fall out of the sky? Maybe you saw her fall and thought it was a miracle. I have a hunch you're not going to be much help, so I'll just drop the subject. I can't see your face very well, but I get the sinking feeling we've met before. You're a whiz at saying yes or no, but I don't know if you really understand me or if you just have a nervous tick. Did you stop nodding and shaking your head for some reason, or are you a member of a binary sect? Do you understand my language, or do you just say yes and no at random? Maybe you don't make any other gestures out of spite. You're not a big talker, so there's no reason to ask whether you can read or write. I think I've gotten a bit mixed up, so let's change the subject. We'll chat some other time, okay? Good luck, my friend. This guy may know something, but if he keeps talking that way, it'll be hard to discern the important part. Besides the fact that, luckily, he isn't deaf. Okay, it could be handy. Huh, it looks like the other end of the cable is hooked onto something down there. Sure, I'll take a glance under the shack. It's pretty dark. I'll get a little closer. I knew it! The cable is caught up in the roots of a palm tree. He must have been stuck here for ages, and I can't get it untied. I don't know what this darn cable is for, but it's sure stuck tight. Okie doke. Let's see if he knows how to write. Hey guy, I found a chalkboard for you. If I give it to you, you can write on it and you won't be stuck just saying yes and no. Do you mean yes, you'll still answer yes and no, or yes, you won't? It doesn't matter. Here, take it. Thank you. You're welcome, man. You see, I wanted to ask you a few questions. Get to the point. So, you're in a hurry now? No. Running out of chalk. A girlfriend of mine fell into the lake. Are you sure you haven't seen her? Very sure. Are you mute or just pretending? Long time since I used earthling speech organs. Earthling? Don't tell me you come from another planet. Chalk almost gone. So soon? Well, it did last quite a while. Low quality. Shoot, it ran out just when this was starting to get interesting. Anyway, man, if I find something else for you to write with, we'll continue this convo. Yeah, I'll try again. No good. It's really stuck. Yeah, I'll try again. No good. It's really stuck. Ooh, it's one of those stands where you can get a souvenir photo taken. I always thought they were a little cheesy, though. I just don't get the humor. I was probably influenced by that dumb photo my mom had hanging on the living room wall, though. Me when I was 6 with a stupid grin and Donald Duck's body. I admit I do like the idea of the Aboriginal photographer. It had never occurred to me to waste my time taking a picture like that for fun. That is so typical. The same muscle-bound surfer as always, with the amazing chick in his arms. No, even though the wood is worn out, it's well anchored from behind. Plus, why would I want to knock it down? No can do. It must be hooked up to the rest of the machinery, and if I unhook it, it'll probably stop working. It's a good way to hide the camera while adding to the local charm factor. My goodness, the collateral damage of tourism. If you ask me, rodeos and, of course, bucking broncos are about as Hawaiian as koalas, just to give an example. It's not exactly in tip-top shape, but I guess it might pass a safety inspection, if the inspector survived, that is. Yeah, maybe I'll find something interesting. Or maybe something dangerous. What a mess! The only danger inside there is getting tetanus, with all that rusty metal. I couldn't get in. The door's locked with several chains and padlocks. It keeps the doors from being opened. Impossible. Just by looking, I can see the wood is too thick. From the look of those stains, it must form part of more than one dog's territory. They must lead to the basement. I'm not exactly dying to open it, but let's see what's inside. I hope it smells better inside than outside. Bags of trash, old newspapers. Ooh, this could be totally usable. Almost a whole stick of butter. And no, nothing else in there looks recyclable, at least for now. I'm not very tempted by the idea of chit-chatting with more military types, but if I have no other choice... Huh, this guy's reading. I hope that good habit makes him act nicer than his cohorts. Hello there.
Marine Zachariah O'Connor, at your orders, sir.
What do you mean, at my orders?
Pardon my indiscretion, sir, but I know a superior officer when I see one, even if he's disguised in plain clothes, sir.
Jeez, how funny. Why do you think that?
Because you wear flashy colors to draw attention to yourself, sir. And that is precisely what nobody would expect of a soldier going incognito, sir. If you allow me to make a remark, I believe that was a very intelligent idea, sir.
Well, if you say so. By the way, you could try not to yell when you're talking.
Impossible, sir. I'm hard of hearing, and if I don't speak up, I run the risk of not knowing what the devil I'm saying, sir.
Okay.
Let's see. What do I say to him now?
Soldier O'Connor.
Sir, yes, sir.
You didn't happen to see a girl dropping out of the sky today by any chance?
No, sir. I always wear my ball cap this way, so I'm usually blind as a bat, sir.
Why don't you wear a hat that lets you see?
It's a lumberjack custom to protect our eyes, sir. Keeps the sawdust out on the one hand, and on the other, it keeps the bird doo-doo away when you climb a tree, sir.
What in the good Lord's name can you do for your army if you're half deaf and blind as a bat?
My main task is as a lookout, sir. I used to work as a lumberjack before enlisting, And there's no one in this regiment who can climb a tree as fast as me, sir.
I'd like to see you climb a tree.
With pleasure. But I need rope to do that, and I don't have any here, sir.
So you climb trees to spy on people? When I see the colonel, I'll have you tried for treason.
You are hilarious, sir. A deaf spy, sir. High treason. Your lady friend must bust her gut with you, sir.
My lady friend?
I meant that girl disguised as a waitress, whose body I couldn't describe without making an indecent comment or two, sir. I'm sure that she's actually an MP with the mission to weed out soldiers who hit the booze too much, sir.
Got a piece of chalk on you?
No, sir, but at school I learned to make them. It's quite complicated, sir. You have to grate a bit of plaster, mix it with gum arabic, and place the mixture in a test tube, sir.
Okie doke. So what's the complicated part?
That's all, sir.
I see. Hey, I have another question, O'Connor. Take me to the camp.
Shoot, sir, I can. People would be surprised to see a civilian snooping around. Someone would recognize you and it would mess up your plans, sir.
Well, whether I'm recognized or not is my problem.
I know you're testing me, and I'll end up with my butt in jail if I fall into your trap. So I'm forced to say, no, sir!
I was told that nobody would bug me if I came in with Soldier O'Connor.
No, sir! Only Professor Pignon is authorized to enter the camp with me, sir.
Who's Professor Pignon?
I've never seen him, sir. I only know that when he gets here, I'm supposed to drive him to the camp and remain at his orders as long as he's on the island, sir. Ah, and I was given a photo. Look.
Which one is he? The monobrow with the wart?
No, sir. The old one is Professor James Simon. Good guy. He retired a year ago, more or less.
So, Pignon is the young one.
Gee, sir, you are sharp tack. I never would have guessed that in my life.
Have you considered I could have you drawn and quartered for giving away confidential info?
You've got me between a rock and a hard place, sir. I'm damned if I lie, and I'm damned if I tell the truth. I'm just a foot soldier who can't compete with your devilish West Point logic, sir.
Do you know how he'll get here?
I guess you'll be tired, sir.
I meant, what mode of transportation will he arrive in?
I don't know, sir. But whether by plane, train, boat, or swimming, you can't deny he'll be tired. Especially if he comes swimming, sir.
Let's talk about something else.
As you order, sir.
Return to your position, soldier. And remember, I'm watching you.
At your orders, sir!
It resembles the ones they have near the camp entrance, but in a convertible version. Quite practical if you're hungry and you find mosquitoes tasty. I'd better not get too close. It's full of sap. The sap isn't quite gum arabic, but it should work. I hope the cap doesn't come off, or I can say goodbye to my pocket and everything in it.